it's Lindsay and welcome to my 2019, this year is starting off great, my 2019 most anticipated book releases. I have compiled a list of 13 books that I am severely excited for. The first book on my list has actually already came out a couple days ago, and that is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. This is a historical fantasy novel that follows a group of teens that have to go on a heist to get a magical object. I follow Thoughts on Tomes, which I absolutely love, her booktube channel. If you're not subscribed to her, you totally should. But I follow her, and she got an early copy of this book and she loves it. And me and her have this thing where we both love these really angsty, slow burn romances in our book, and she was just dying over the slow burn in this book because I guess, you know, it's so hard to find a good slow burn romance, and she said this is just one of the best ones that she's read, so I'm really excited to read that. I also heard that this has a very diverse cast, and it does a really good job of looking at the real world dark side of the Victorian era. The Victorian era gets romanticized a lot, so it's good that we've got books that are revealing these things. Second book on my list is actually one of the few non-YA fantasies on the list. Of course, it's an adult fantasy, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This comes out on February 26th, and like I mentioned, it is an adult fantasy novel that focuses on dragons, and I am the biggest fan of dragons, particularly the Aragon series, which is a YA fantasy series that came out like maybe 10 years ago? I don't know, but I love it. I wrote down what really captured my attention in my notes, but the main characters are a queen without an heir, a secret magician from a hidden society, and a girl trained as a dragon rider. So I'm there for it. The third book on my list is The Devouring Grey, which comes out on April 2nd. Also, I'm putting the UK cover up because I just love it so much more than the American cover. I just think it's better, so UK cover. But this book just sounds so much like a TV show that like Freeform or the CW would have adapted like 5 years ago. I don't know. It just sounds so good and something I'm really interested in. But it's about a girl who moves back to this really small New England town where 300 years ago, basically, her family was one of the founding families that started this town. And apparently all of the founder kids like get together and they have this like gang or like a cult type thing going on, and there's also this creature in the woods, and the town is completely surrounded by woods, and it's just like feeding on people, and people keep ending up dead, and I'm like, okay, I'm sold. The book just sounds dark and like angsty and teenagery, and again just like a TV show that I would have watched when I was in high school, so I'm excited for it. Number 4 on my list also comes out on April 2nd, and that is The Wicked Saints. Now I know everyone has been talking about this book because it is so big. I think this is going to be like the most hyped, biggest book of 2019, but it is basically a Russian inspired fantasy that features like this villain hero romance and this girl who can talk to gods and these priests that are like corrupt, and then there's like a prince on the side who is manipulated or something like that. I don't know. It sounds amazing. They all have to group up together and assassinate this evil king. The first chapter is up on Barnes & Noble's, I think, their website. You can go check it out and read it. I was really impressed. When I am able to read the first chapter online of a book, I do that because a lot of times I can read a first chapter and just tell if I'm not going to vibe with the writing style. But I read this and I'm super into it. Like, it sounds great. Yeah, okay, so the official pitch is about a girl who can talk to gods, a paranoid prince, and a boy with a monstrous secret, perfect for fans of the Buffy, Spike, Alina Darkling romantic vibes. Yes, please, check waiter. I'm here for it. The 5th book on my list, coming out on May 7th, is Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book in the Caraval series that follows a main character who wants to join this traveling magical show, and it's really exclusive and hard to get in, and finally she does get in, but she kind of gets lost and swept up in the game, and that's the point. You lose yourselves in these games and they're a lot darker than you think they are. This series for me is just candy. It's just simply fun. It is like, to me, I just get swept up in it. The writing is so beautiful. It's glamorous. It's kind of this dark and eerie and edgy world, but at the same time, it's just this whimsical magic, and I loved it. Like, I know it's like one of those series that you love or hate, but I fall on the side that loves it. It's just fun. And I'm so excited for the last book to come out. Number 6 on my list is The Storm Crows. Now this comes out on July 9th. And if you remember a couple books back where I talked about The Priory of the Orange Tree, like it's kind of like Aragon. The comp title for it is Aragon. So this book actually sounds really interesting. So it's about a girl who lives in this kingdom. She's the princess, and the kingdom was kind of the magical aspect of it was that there was these elemental crows that were like companions, and they brought magic to the land and all of the things like that. But then this kingdom was conquered and all of the crows were like exterminated and killed, and of course that is like really bad, and it got rid of all of the magic. Well, the main princess is extremely depressed, and that's actually a part of the novel that is explored. It focuses on grief and depression because, you know, her kingdom has been conquered, all of the magic has been taken, all of the companion birds have been taken, and I think even her parents have been killed. So it explores like depression, but at the same time she finds a robin egg, kind of like Aragon finds a dragon egg, and they hatch it and they decide to put together this revolution and like take back the kingdom. And I'm so excited. And this cover, this cover, okay, so like, can I have this cover artist for when my book comes out, because it is beautiful. It's dark, it's eerie, it's creepy, it's magical, and it just gives you like, it just exudes this like sense of power from this girl, and I'm like, yes, I want that. Number 7 also comes out on July 9th, and that cover is stunning too, because that is Wilder Girls. So this book has been pitched as Lord of the Flies meets YA feminist queer literature. From what I understand, it basically follows a girls' school that's set on an island, and then all of a sudden something starts getting the teachers, and then it spreads to the students, and to survive, the remaining students like quarantine themselves on this island school, and they're surrounded by these woods, and you can't go into the woods because the thing that is getting everyone is in the woods. And then one of the girls' friends or romantic interest, I'm not sure which one it is, disappears, and she decides to brave the woods and find her friend, and whatever darkness ensues. It honestly kind of reminds me of that older book. You guys remember The Forest of Hands and Teeth? That's what it was called. That it's almost like a creepy zombie book about like a society that lives surrounded by woods, and you can't go into the woods because the zombies are all around. I really hate zombie books, by the way, but that book was very suspenseful, and the synopsis of this book reminds me of that. So yeah, different, but I'm gonna check it out. Number 8 on my list is called The Merciful Crow, and it is coming out on July 30th. Again, with these awesome covers. Like, I love this. It is just so beautiful. I think the synopsis is really vague. From what I understand, it is about a like refugee prince that runs away and seeks the aid of this powerful chiefess girl who is the chiefess of this organization called the Crows. And he promises them that if they will help him kill this ruthless queen that has like dethroned him or something, that he will make sure that the Crows have power when he takes back the throne. And it sounds really interesting. I think it's because the Crows, like the society or whatever that is, the tribe of whatever, it just sounds so unique, and it sounds kind of like there's like an air of mystery around it, and we have this refugee prince. And I don't know, usually it's like the refugee princess, so it was kind of cool to see those roles switched. Number 9 on the list comes out on August 6th, and that is The House of Salt and Sorrow. This has been marketed as Crimson Peak meets 12 Dancing Princesses in a dark YA fantasy retelling. I'm so excited about it. So if you watch some of my writing videos, you know that like my next YA book that I have in the works is kind of like a druid inspired 12 Dancing Princesses. It's like super dark and like awesome, and I'm loving it. But I'm really excited to read more 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. The only one I've read is Entwined, which I like, but it's like very fluffy and light and happy. Like, I love a good dose of blood and gore and conspiracy. Like, I need that to like really hit home for me. So I'm excited to check this out. I actually have an arc of this, you guys. I'm so excited to start reading it, and hopefully I'll be able to do that in the next couple weeks and give you my thoughts. Number 10 on the list comes out on September 3rd, and that is Serpent and Dove. It follows a young girl who is a witch, and she is running away from her coven because she was supposed to be sacrificed to, you know, stop this horrible war or destruction from happening. She doesn't want to be a martyr, so she runs away. The problem is the city is taken over by this church, and these witch hunters that stem from these churches are out to kill and burn all witches without a trial. But our main character knows that if she can kind of wiggle in and get the love of a witch hunter and marry him and form this political alliance, she might be able to save her people. The only thing is, the boy that marries her doesn't know she's a witch. I love me a good witchy book, and this just sounds great, and I really love the whole dichotomy of witch and witch hunter. I follow the author Shelby on Twitter, and she's so sweet and she's so nice. I actually followed her like entire journey from when she was just like writing and revising to when she got her agent to when she got her book deal, and now it's coming out this year, and it's just so crazy, and it's super fun to watch that happen. And yeah, I'm excited for our book. Ooh, this one I'm so excited for. Okay, so this one also comes out on September 3rd, and it is called There Will Come a Darkness. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the author of this book was actually, I don't remember if she was a pitch war or an author mentor match mentee to Amanda Foody, the author of Ace of Shades and The Daughter of the Burning City. She was chosen by Amanda Foody, and this author went on to get like this massive like 6-figure book deal with this book, and now it's finally coming out, and I am so excited for this because, guys, it contains prophecies, and you know how I love me a good prophecy plotline. So basically, the story takes place in a world that is kind of governed by these prophets, and one day all of the prophets disappear, but they leave behind one prophecy that says there will come a person with the power to destroy or save the world. There are basically 5 people who this prophecy could be about, and they are an exiled prince, a ruthless killer, a once faithful leader, a reckless gambler, or a dying girl. I need to know nothing else. I'm so excited. Like, oh, I just love prophecies. I love creepy, mysterious people that live up in the woods and like tell people when they're gonna live, when they're gonna die, what's gonna happen. Also, this was pitched for fans of An Ember in the Ashes, so I mean, that was my favorite book of last year, so like I don't even need to hear anymore. Coming in at number 12, I think this is my only like non-fantasy book, and that is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. It comes out on September 5th. So I have read all of Ruth Ware's books, and her very last one, The Death of Mrs. Westaway, was my all-time favorite. It's really great. Go check out my video of favorite books of 2018 because I mentioned it in there. But her next book is about a woman who takes up a nannying position, and poop hits the fan. I think some of the children end up dead, and she is convicted of their murder, but she can't remember doing the murders, and how the parents are weird, and the kids, apparently the kids were weird and like creepy or something. Like, I'm so there for it. If you guys didn't know, I'm a nanny. It'll be fun just to compare and see. So I'm really excited for this one. And last but not least, coming out on October 8th is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. So this book is about a runaway girl who gets lost in kind of the nightlife of the 1870s New Orleans. Basically, she gets thrown into like this occult and these like creepy underground societies, and it's the rebirth of the vampire novels, guys. It's the rebirth of YA vampires, and I'm super pumped. Even the cover looks so like reminiscent of like Twilight with the reds and the blacks. I honestly like never got sick of the vampire thing. I never was this huge Twilight hater or you know, anything. I love vampires. I think they're so cool, and especially if they have like a cool twist. So I'm excited to see what Renee Ahdieh has done with this. Alrighty guys, so those are the 13 most anticipated books coming out in 2019 that I am so excited to read. Let me know down in the comments what books you can't wait to read, or if any of these sound great to you. I would love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!